All right, day 10, legs on a Sunday. In terms of religion, Sunday is always seen as a special day where everybody goes in to put their prayers, ask for what they need for the week to come, um, and their tidings and whatnot. For me, I guess the gym has become a bit of my place of worship, in terms of I'm not really focused on much else. Just focused on myself. Just figuring out the minor issues that I'm going through and how to deal with them. Oftentimes when I'm in the middle of a set, I'm focusing on that set, but in the back of my head, I got stuff going on. I got things that I got to think about for the week, or for not just the week, but later on down the line. So, and leg day especially is that day, like a heavy leg day, like a quad day. It's a great day, but oftentimes it takes you to a different part of your mind, because you really gotta hone in, really gotta focus on yourself. And when you focus on yourself, you end up thinking about the things that you really gotta work on, right? The issues that you're going through and all those things, and that can, when you start thinking about it, it stacks up, and sometimes it can get outside of your like a bad dream. It can turn into a nightmare, But you got to remind yourself to focus back in on that next rep, focus back in on that next set, and drive through it. Because you may have experienced you may have been going through something bad. You may be experiencing something now that's not the best, But at the end of the day, you just got to keep on pushing. You just got to keep on going. Take your time. Of course, take your time to heal and take your time to do what's necessary. But you got to keep telling yourself that no matter what, you're going to show up tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. Because if you ain't showing up for yourself, who will? I realized that, it took me a long time to realize that, because for the most part, I thought I needed others to show up for me so that I could show up for myself. But then I realized that I need to show up for myself so I can show up for others. And I don't know if that made any sense, but if you get it, you get it. So yeah, I think leg day is more of you're coming to your reckoning. You're coming to your mortality. You're acknowledging that, and you're striving forward to build on that. We all start at a different place. We all start somewhere. And as we continue to grow, we may not acknowledge our growth. We may not recognize our growth from those day-to-day minute differences. But the environment around us always recognizes it. And that's why when you focus on growth, your environment will push you towards it. There's a book called The Alchemist, where it talks about pursuing your passions, pursuing your goal, or pursuing your dream, your purpose. And the line that says, a person's purpose, a person's only task in life is to find out what their purpose is. And once a person finds out their purpose, the universe will help them get there. But there's a lot going on. Of course, we can't live in books all our lives. Reality often can be quite different. But if you live by that, it may help you here and there. So yeah, a little quieter day to Sunday, but a good day. I'll see you guys at the gym. All right, so warm-ups went pretty well. Bike, usually on leg days I take the 10 minutes of bike or 3 miles of bike a little slower, Not looking to push pace as much. Just trying to warm the legs up, make sure the knees are ready for the stress I'm about to put on them, especially for my quad day. And then I jump right into hamstring curls. Just because I'm focusing quads today doesn't mean I'm not going to work on the rest, right? So I did 2 sets of these. One with a pretty low weight, like 55 pounds, and then I moved up to 115 pounds and do 8 to 10 reps. Nothing too serious. Just to get the hamstring firing up, get that blood flow going, so that they're not. I want to make sure they're activated for the heavy lifts, the squats that I'm going to do in a bit. And then from hamstrings, we go into abductors, adductors. My best friend Juan, shout out Juan, he validated that adductors on the outside, abductors are on the inside. Or is it the other way around? I don't know. Well, I do these. I can't believe I forgot that. I'm pretty sure that just happened a couple days ago. But yeah, 2 sets of these. 12. I put the weight up a little more on these just because the pain in my internal, on the adductor on the inside of my left leg, wasn't flaring up as much, which is great news. So I put it up to, I think, 85 from 55. I'm able to do, my range of motion isn't as limited. I'm able to get that full squeeze on the entire motion on the inside, and same on the outside. Although I never really had an issue on the outside, but I feel like I'm able to activate it a little better, especially when that when you'll notice here when I'm doing it that I feel that connection between my hamstring and my glute where the adductor lies. I feel that I feel the muscle contraction there. And that's what I'm focusing on, maintaining that contraction throughout that movement. Um, Good warm up here. Nothing fancy. You guys have already seen this twice now, I think. So you know how it is. Squeezing as much as I can, maintaining that squeeze all the way out and into the next rep. Yeah, good set there. I did that for 2 sets, and then I moved into quad extensions. I already did my warm up for quad extensions before I took this tape, but started at 75, moved up to 130. Since I have heavy squats coming up, uh, I'm not going to be doing too much on the quad extensions. Main focus is to make sure my knees are good. I don't want any issues showing up when I'm squatting, right? So I want to make sure that my knees are ready to go. There's no issues. You're kind of doing like a clearance check before you're taking the car out for the drive here, right? That's why I'm doing all these warm ups. When you're warming up, you're feeling for anything that's off. Maybe something's going on. And even if there is, throughout these warm-ups, there's like you know how when you go to the dentist, they describe the difference between pressure and pain. Sometimes it's just a little pressure and you got to push through it. But pain is a different thing. If you're feeling pain, if you're feeling a sharp shooting pain going down your muscles, you need to stop. You need to go and stretch. You need to go do some dynamic stretches with some bands. You should not be hitting the weight. Remember that. The only reason why I'm able to do what I'm able to do so consistently, day in, day out, is because I stretch and make sure that I'm watching for those cues, right? The moment I feel a cue, I'm stepping away from it. Anyways, I did 2 sets of these and I moved straight into squats. I did, I think, 2 sets of warm ups before I moved up to this a plate and a fit 25 and 25. I like sending it up like that so I can do the drop sets. I think that comes out to, it's a Smith machine, so I don't really count the bars, 45. I think it's like 25. So we're talking 25, 90, 50, 50. So 100, 190 plus 25, 215. 250 pound, 15 pound, not too heavy, about body weight right now. So you don't really need to go too heavy. Of course, you see the platform that I'm standing on. I'm doing, I like having my heels a little lifted here, so I'm able to focus more on driving through my quads rather than using my hamstrings when I'm doing these. I think they're called, I don't know the name for them. I will, if anybody wants, ask in the comments and I'll send the name, but I'm sure you guys have seen this variation somewhere. I love this variation a lot. It really focuses on the knees and quads. I'm able to get that full stretch at the bottom. You'll see that in these lower weights where I'm sitting all the way into the hole. By the hole, I'm talking about the bottom right there. But you see how I'm going for that full extension? I'm not going just stopping at 90. That's what you want. In order to get that full rep, you really want to go down all the way so you can get your entire quad is activated, not just the top or the bottom. Um, Especially closer to the when you're talking about the hips, right? You don't to get the quad activation closer to the hips, you have to go a little lower so you can get that full stretch. Of course, also while you're squatting, you want to maintain your core. You want to make sure that your core is activated. If you are not activating your core, that means you're putting the entire pressure of the weight that's on your back on your back. When you're activating your core when you're squatting, it keeps the weight from messing with your lower back bone. You don't want to get sciatica. You don't want to pinch a nerve. You don't want to mess up your CNS. So that's why you activate your core. Maintaining activation of your core is essential for a good squat form. I would practice that before anything else, going into the hole and out of it. But honestly, I love these pistol squats. I think that no, is that what it is? Might be called a pistol squat. No, I think that's when you have one leg up. Um, Heel elevated, whatever. You get the point. Uh, but yeah, I did. I think three three sets of these at the 215. I did two warm ups, and then I think I did one more final set, just to exhaust the legs at plate N25. Um, each time I do a weight, I'm doing 6 reps, and I'm knocking it down to the next. So I go from 215 to 185 to 135. 185, 135 being a plate and 25 on it, and then 135 just being a plate. By the plate, I mean 45 pounds. Um, this is, I mean, work drop sets have always been my favorite way to get that full exhaustion of the muscle to ensure that you're pushing the muscle fibers to the limit. But you don't have to do that every time. I've just been doing that regularly for the past couple months, and it's working well for me. When you're initially starting out, my recommendation is to stick to that 12 to 15 rep range, keep it at a low weight, and just focus on squeezing. Learning how to squeeze the muscle, learning how to flex that and maintain that flexion takes a long time. It is, I think I've said it on my first video, or maybe my second one. But learning that flexion and maintaining it took me damn near 10 years. I feel like I just started to really feel it properly last year. Um, but yeah, slow and steady wins the race as always. You're not going to learn this on the first day. You're not going to be able to move this weight on the first day. Um, and even when you can move this weight, it doesn't mean you should. You need to do what's right for the body. Oftentimes, we tend to get ahead of ourselves, or we see somebody else doing the heavy weight, so we think we can do it. And there's nothing wrong with challenging ourselves, but at the same time, this isn't a sprint; it's a marathon, right? We're doing this to grow ourselves. There is no reason for anyone to be ego lifting, unless the only time you should be lifting heavy is when that's what you're building towards, like powerlifting and something like that. By all means, but even then, you do that in a long extended period of time. No one's coming in and asking you to pick up 600 pounds right off the bat. But yeah, squats felt great today. No complaints there. I finished it up with some quad extensions. Um, yeah, honestly, a pretty good leg day. Great Sunday. Um, yeah, I am tired. I've got a big week ahead of me. Got some work to do. But rounded out a fairly good week. Stick to my dedication stick to setting these longs out, even if they get out a little late. It's okay. I'm pretty proud of the progress I've been making so far. I hope to continue to make it. Like I said, this series is mainly for myself. If anybody learns anything from it, that's great. But being able to visualize and see my progress, seeing the person in the camera, seeing the person in the video grow every day makes me want to continue to pursue it even more. And that's why I'm doing all this for myself more than anybody else. And I think that's why I love it so much. Like I said in the beginning of the video, defining your purpose can be anything. But at the end of the day, I think this is a part of my purpose, and that's why I pursue it so much. I love this shit. It's great. Uh, the gym has become a church for me, and I'll continue to uphold myself to the highest accountability in order to make sure that I can keep going every day. But yeah, quad extensions felt really good. I think I put this. I started at 205, and then moved it down to 130, and then moved it down to 85, and finished up with some body weight squats just to round it out. Quads are well pumped. Great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.